Me too.
Yeah, let's get this burrito out here. I need to stream.
It's time for the burritos.
Time for the mukbang.
I'm going for kind of an orangey green for the skin tone.
It says that we are live. I'm just double checking and I'll introduce y'all and then I'll just watch and be sad that I'm not able to play.
You didn't get one for yourself?
I did, but it went to Somerset where I live and not, I'm in New Hampshire. I didn't expect to be in New Hampshire, but here I am. Okay, it says we're live. You're watching this right now. I'm just confused because I'm using a new software, y'all. So be patient with me while we do this. If you can see us, like I can't even on things.
Oh yeah, that light green is making it much better.
Yep, we are live.
We are live. Oh, thank you, Rob.
Yep.
So, hello, everybody. I'm Kristen from Mastermind Adventures, and these are our amazing game masters and staff, and we are not really performing or doing anything tonight except for painting minis. And whose minis we're painting is Rob. I don't know if even folks see you, or can they only see me? I don't know.
No, they can see everyone.
They can see everyone?
Yep.
Oh, good. Okay, so Rob, introduce yourself. But he is the artist behind McPherson Minis, and he's provided us with these super cool dice heads. And Mastermind sponsored this event so that we can have some fun together, and you guys can just watch us paint and have some fun. So welcome, everybody. Go ahead, Rob. You can talk a little bit about McPherson Minis. And
Sure. So about a year and a half ago, I started up McPherson Minis when I kind of fell down the rabbit hole of doing 3D printing and Patreon. I have so many different Patreon subscriptions right now to support McPherson Minis, but one of them is dice heads, and they are just little dice holders, dice jails. I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm not really certain what their actual purpose is, but everyone seems to love them. So they are up on my shop, and you can take a look there. So this is the goblin one that we're going to be working on tonight. So he's got his little sword there. And then, do I not have a D20 sitting by? That's weird.
How dare you, Rob? I thought you were a dungeon master.
So
hold it yourself.
It'll hold the D20 right in the top there.
there. Oh yeah, Sarah's got it.
You can see it. Isn't it cute?
Oh, cute.
So it'll be nice painting a different one of these dice holders because I've been painting the gelatinous cube so much lately.
But the gelatinous cube is so awesome. It's so amazing.
Here I have one behind me actually.
While he's looking for a gelatinous cube to show you, I'm just gonna go around and say people's names, and you guys can wave at the screen so people know who you are. So with us tonight is Sarah. I don't know what eating. That works too. Allie.
Hello.
Arthur.
Hi.
Amanda. Laura. And Christy.
Hello.
Yay. All right. Did you find your cube?
I did. I don't have any painted ones. I literally just shipped them out this morning. But so this is the gelatinous cube. And so I paint them in a translucent green resin, and then I paint up all the little bits and pieces that stick out.
Rob, I don't know how you do this. I'm already bored and tired and my hand hurts.
It's funny, when I first started painting minis, that's exactly how I thought it was going to go. But I'm like, well, I have these minis and I don't want to put gray minis down in front of my players. And I started painting them. And then like 8 hours later, I had like 5 painted minis. I was like, oh, I guess I like this.
Yeah.
I guess I could put on, like having y'all here is so much better. Like, I think if I was doing this by myself, I would do like a podcast or something.
Oh, I watch so much Netflix.
I've started watching.
If you've got a mini dice set, you don't even have to just do your D20. Can people see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Put your hand behind it, maybe.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Now we can see through your hand. There we go.
Yeah, right there.
I got a whole mini dice set in that one.
That's hysterical.
That's awesome.
So something I like to do with these dice holders when I paint them up, because they have the cavity where the dice goes. Again, I don't have another painted one, but you'll see it as I do it tonight. I like to do the inside of the dice holder an accent color of some sort. It just fun.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Am I the only one here who has never painted a miniature before?
I have never painted a mini before.
I've painted a lot of tiny model rockets before.
I think that's like the same, or at least
Tiny
very
model
similar.
rockets.
I have not painted a mini in like 8 years, and I'm just like, do I do the highlight first, or do I do the shadow first after I do my base coat and like dry brushing? All I know is like with dry brushing, I used to work at a I would help out a like game store owner, and he made like terrain, and I
Mhm.
like compared dry brushing the terrain. I'm like, it's just like makeup. You just gotta like use a little, like brush it off, then put the eyeshadow on. Make sure you
So-
get pigment, but not too much blotch.
Yep.
So brushes are supposed to be dry. Arthur, you've never done this before, but you seem to have dived in. I have no idea where I'm even supposed to begin.
So first step, just
Oh,
literally toss on a base coat. Just pick whatever color you want to use, and just I start. I do an inside out style. I start with the skin usually, and then go from there, because that way I can be sloppy on the base coat, and like if I get it on the armor, then it doesn't matter because I'm going to be painting the armor afterwards anyways. So I just do a quick sloppy base coat of whatever skin tone I'm doing, which for me
like the
I
whole
use.
thing? Cover the whole thing in the base
I-
coat?
I mean, I try to, stay away from like, if I'm not going to put the base coat on the eyes, and I won't put the base coat intentionally on the armor, but I guarantee you there will be a lot on the armor. I say armor.
Okay.
This guy's just wearing a loincloth and a shoulder pad.
All right. Oh no, you can only see my boobs. This is that's I'm trying to like figure out a way to like
That's what viewers are here to see.
my painting, and it's all just my super awesome breastfeeding jumpsuit.
I'm going to make my
whatever's
screen
comfy.
fancy so you guys can see if you have any questions.
Oh yeah, y'all can't see me painting at all. Let me give you the good stuff. You can see me looking down. Oh yeah, you can see my shirt. I got a shirt on. Critical roles, not gender roles.
Oh, I love
Nice.
it.
I love it.
Great. So
a Plants Against Gender Norms t-shirt. I was very excited.
I liked your baby Yoda hoodie, Amanda.
Thanks. It's my 13-year-old.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
good luck. I'm living for it.
I was like, I can't do this without help of some sort.
All right.
painted-
Can we do like a paint along type situation, maybe?
Sure.
Say again,
So-
Sarah?
So you can see on my screen, I put up my camera for the miniature as well. I'm literally just, in fact, it's hard to see exactly, but this is a very quick sloppy coat. I'll go back and I'll do a second coat in a few minutes to clean it up. But right now I'm just getting some paint on it just so that it has some color down. And I'm literally just doing the entire skin of the goblin.
Yeah, this definitely need a second coat of green.
Yeah, when I've always found that when you do something with large surface area, the paint thins out enough that you want to do a second coat, because otherwise it looks like crap, to be honest.
Yeah, so for my vaporwave goblin, I'm just gonna start with a big lump of white, and then I'm just gonna like mix up my custom sort of turquoisey blue skin color. It might take a while, but that's what we're going for over here.
Yeah, I mixed together this
Cool.
green, and I'm really happy with how it came out.
Let's see. Oh yeah.
Has anyone ever bought Turbo Dark paints? Because I have a bunch of Turbo Dark paints that I'm like, this looks great, but then I'm just like, I'm afraid to put this on my mini.
I've never actually heard of it before. It was posted earlier, and I'm definitely gonna have to look into it.
Yeah, they
Although-
make color shifting paint, so like it switches from purple to green or red to yellow, and like
That's really cool.
it's like
I won't
very
lie. I'm
cool.
afraid to get expensive paints because I'm afraid that I'm going to fall in love with them, and then my budget is going to just skyrocket.
I've heard
my
that
partner was-
Vallejo paints are really good, but I have like a bunch of old Citadel paints from when I used to paint Warhammer armies, and They don't really age very well, and they're also
Oh.
incredibly expensive for what they are. But they're really pigmented. Like that's the important thing about them.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
use Army Painter.
yeah. But I've heard that Vallejo is like really good. Like they're more affordable, and they actually are.
I got Arteza, and they're pretty good.
Never heard of them.
You get a lot of color, and it's not super expensive.
I just sent my partner to Staples and they got the cheapest thing. There was some very like interesting looking other paints and like sparkly paints, and I was like, that's expensive, and this has a lot of variety, so I'm getting this one.
Ready for the mix?
Ooh,
Oh wow.
pretty.
Oh yeah, you can check out here. This is my mix for the skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see my wet palette and the last 30 different minis that I've painted.
Nothing better than the mix.
Does acrylic paint, like, can I dump this brush in a thing of water and it'll come out?
Yeah, it'll come out. If you need to, you can always use a little bit of dish soap, and that will help like get out even more. But it should come out.
Cool.
I found these things called paint pucks. You can't actually see it because it's down in the bottom of the mug, but it comes with. Oh no, you can see it in there. So it's got that like texture in there. So I use that to clean my brushes as I go. It works really well.
Honestly,
I've heard about those.
it's kind of a look to have it not fully, like, it's kind of a green gray right now, which I kind of like.
Oh, my paint is too thick. I need to water it down.
I really want to get some of my boyfriend. So my boyfriend he loves painting minis, and he has flocking, and like he has like it could be like little cherry blossom flocking or like fall leaves, and I'm just like I just want to put tiny leaves on his little base.
Oh, flocking is pretty easy to
Did that with the last mini I painted. It's so much fun.
I have never gotten into flocking yet, and
The
I'm
static
sure that I
grass
will.
is like so cool. I love the static grass.
Dan just joined us. Hey, Dan, how are ya?
What is flocking?
It's kind of like like little like bits of like leaves and like little bits of like dirt and like meant to look like fake dirt for your like ground.
You ever seen a model like a model train set that's really elaborate, and it's got like that fake like grass like dust type stuff? It's things like that. Hang on one
Got
second,
it.
I'm getting a phone call.
I was just at a hobby store not too long ago, and they had the little like train and model little pieces of like brush and such. And I thought it would be so much fun, like instead of wearing makeup, to just put like fake moss lichen all over my face,
Oh my gosh. I
You could
just
truly complete your metamorphosis into a tree.
foreheads.
I did a LARP once where I was playing a bramble bush of a forest that, like, the forest was mad at the humans for being in the forest, so we like came alive and attacked them, and I basically had that on my face.
That's awesome.
I
See?
I do a LARP character at the one we do for our kids, the Hero's Journey one. That's Mad Willow. She's an Entwife. We're in her tree.
I love Mad Willow.
Super cool. Next time we do that, we'll totally try that, Amanda. And actually, your character too for that, because weren't you I'm trying to remember what you were at the Hero's Journey that we did in Milton.
Oh,
Weren't
yeah.
special-
With that crazy crushed velvet
Yes.
cape. That was awesome. Crushed velvet floral quilted cape.
What are you talking about?
My costume. Yeah.
Oh wow. I did some mods to my little guy, and now that I've painted it, you can barely see them.
Oh yeah. That's good, Sarah.
Need my gobbo to have long ears.
Yeah, this artist, he definitely has a very chibi style,
Yeah, I like that.
which
So
he's
what do you
actually.
use to 3D print?
Say that again.
So do you like what program do you use to 3D model?
I actually do not do any modeling. It's on my list to do, but I never seem to have time to learn. Relearn. I technically went to school for it. I was never good at it. But so I patronize several different Patreons, and pay them for the rights to 3D print and sell their miniatures. So this is from an artist. I don't remember his last name, but his first name is Andrew, and he runs Dice Heads. In fact, I believe, actually, I think it just ended. He has a Kickstarter going.
Maybe it's my dad.
Yeah.
Oh, if you ever need a guy, there's this guy Miguel, like M52.
Yep.
4. Yeah, I know him. I met him at a
You know
convention.
him?
Yeah.
He's extremely famous in the 3D printing circles because he has modeled every single monster in the monster manual. And I think actually at this point, he's gotten to every single source book in 5e.
So
Wow.
funny story about meeting this guy is I was standing online at PAX Unplugged one year, and and they were like, "Oh, no more D&D. All the rooms are booked up." And we're like, "Oh man!" And then like we kind of all looked at each other and we're like, "Well, like, couldn't you just play D&D? Like, you don't need a group." And then we all like looked around, and then and then Miguel was like, "I'd like to run a game," and then like we exchanged phone numbers, and he's like, "Meet me in an hour, we'll play." And like we just met, like we were running around the convention floor trying to find dice and like miniatures to bring it to this game, and then we used like a box to like have a DM screen. It was
That's
great.
awesome.
Is that the Miguel that we were playing the game last night with?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's crazy. Yeah, his was actually the first dragon I ever 3D printed. And back then when I had like an 8-hour print, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to take so long. And now I have like, actually here, I'll show you this. I have to paint up this weekend. He doesn't have his arms on right now. But this is a Tarask.
Nice.
Where are his arms? I should probably find those before I have to paint this. Yeah, they're around. So this is from Artisan Guild Miniatures, and this thing takes 62 hours to print total.
It
But
is pretty big.
oh yeah, it's absolutely huge.
expect a
Oh, and
Tarask
just
to
so you
be.
know, this is actually D&D scale. This is 1-inch scale. So to a Hero Forge miniature.
Now I'm gonna make the blade. Got some
In fact,
gray and
I
some
have
white.
a picture of him in my shop holding a miniature in his mouth like that.
I have that with the owl bear. He can hold dice, the owl bear from the D&D, like if you buy like a big owl bear, it will hold the little die in its arms when it's doing like this pose.
That's awesome.
I've got him covered in paint.
Welcome to my life.
Now we just start doing the details.
So yeah, I was actually just getting to that. So I just finished up doing the base coat. I'm gonna go in, and there are some areas I couldn't get with my larger brush, so I'm just gonna hit those really quick with a smaller brush just to get some color on them. And then I'm probably gonna start working on the armor next, although I have to take at least a couple minutes break because the paint's still wet on the armor because I was sloppy.
Okay. While I wait for my paint to dry, I'm going to show you the bendable clay.
Bean stuff.
So here are the hands that I made. Now my hands have hands.
Whoa.
Wow.
No, Christy, I was telling them you're into puppetry.
That's
I really
I
thought I was gonna sleep tonight, but apparently, thanks to
I am,
Sarah, I guess I
but I've
won't.
never made hands for my hands. That's
These hands, like, they can grab stuff, so they could like and then but because the clay is bendable, so you can see like this could totally grab something. Like, let me grab something.
Where's your hands? Your hands? Sorry.
Yeah, I can like hold stuff. Bendable.
That's so cool.
You want to do
Bananas.
stuff?
oh my gosh. That is cool and creepy. And did I say creepy?
Really
but
creepy.
yes, so I will need to look into that because I recently picked up this guy here,
Ooh.
and I'm going to need to put some skin on him.
Yes.
I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I've taken all the measurements. In fact, my first 3D modeling since college is going to be making these exact parts so that I can 3D print them, because stop motion armatures are really expensive.
Yeah.
This was $65.
I've always wanted to do stop motion, but I don't know how to animate anything.
I mean, you can find some basic tutorials just even on YouTube.
I'm also like, I don't know. It's like never something that's been like the thing I really want to do. I just want to make things for other people to animate.
Well, I love animating. So I went to school for 3D animation, and then pretty quickly learned that I am absolutely terrible at 3D modeling, or at least I was a decade and a half ago. So I was in my 3D modeling class and I was clicking away. I'm like, oh, this is starting to look like a face. And then I look over at the kid next to me and it's like a full formed figure that looks realistic. I'm like, oh, I'm not good at this.
I hate not being good at things.
Oh, I can't stand it. So, but I did find when I was there that they did have a small stop motion program. So I started doing that, and that was a ton of fun. And I kind of fell down that rabbit hole for a while.
One of my
I'm living not being good at things right now.
That's how I am. I'm learning how to model right now, 3D modeling.
Yeah.
Downloaded ZBrush, got it for a month, spent like a full month like doing like 3 hours a week. I managed to make a Usagi Polly Pocket, and that is all I can do. But like
ZBrush is not easy.
Pretty good.
ZBrush is an insanely complex program.
Yeah, and then I realized I don't want to pay $500 for that, so I'm listening to Miguel because he's like, I use Blender. I'm like, well, if you use Blender. Oh,
Yeah,
I'll use
Blender is great. How is he?
I think I was really progressing as an artist until about the 3rd grade. And then at that point, my artistic ability went, this is where you max out, Christy. And I've been there ever since. So
in terms of drawing, that's exactly what happened with me.
Well, I think it's more that like people get self-conscious. Like by the time you're like in 3rd grade or whatever, you're like, oh, I'm not as good as everybody else.
Well,
that may be true for some people. It was not true for me. I have my gifts. Visual arts is not one of them.
Not to soapbox for a minute, but I mean, like it's a common thing in this country, is just the arts in general. We've been told that it's a hobby. It's a thing you do when you come home from work. It's not a thing you do for work. So many of us just kind of give up on it. Oh my God, you gave him rouge cheeks.
Oh, cheeks.
I feel like the opposite. I feel like we're told if you want to be an artist, you have to be good at it and do it as your job, versus like you can be an artist and make very not pleasing art to other people. You can just enjoy the process, and that's okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely the other side of the coin. And I mean, as somebody who makes my living off of being a theatrical designer and performer, I can tell you, I've lost count of the amount of people who have told me that, oh, well, if you could do anything else in this world, just go do that. And I've started giving advice to the students that I work with. And I'm like, so if you can do anything else in this world, but you like doing the art, then do the art. I
am studying to be an art teacher.
Nice.
And it is very fun. But yeah, especially like once you get to high school, they're all very insecure about their painting and drawing skills. And I'm just like, no, it's cool. But like, oh my goodness, the bravery and the gall of 6-year-olds is it warms my heart. He was like, I'm drawing a plane, and I was like, oh, it's a plane. He's like, it's a Delta airline. I'm like, oh, my dad worked for American Airlines. He's like, that's a terrible airline. I'm like, oh.
No filter.
They have so much confidence. So
that kid had some opinions.
Oh yeah, I remember when I was in 2nd grade, and my art teacher, I was supposed to do a like, what's the word for a landscape, and I drew people on it, and she was like, that's not a landscape. I'm like, well, why not? And she's like, well, like a landscape have like dead things like rocks and mountains and stuff. And I was like, okay.
Horrible
And
way to describe a landscape.
I drew X's
all the
on all the people's eyes, and I was like, okay, they're dead now. And then I got detention, and she like I came home crying to my parents because apparently I couldn't draw well. And so that's to me is the reason I'm not good at painting today.
These lips. I don't know how I feel about my goblin lips.
I think I'm gonna give mine some
perfect.
lipstick at the end.
I don't
think
know how
you're.
feel about them. I feel like they might have to go.
I was gonna give him yellow
I think-
eyes, but I think maybe give him red eyes.
Well, that's cute.
You're going to remove the goblin's lips? Is that what I heard?
No. I drew lips on my goblin. Can you see?
Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
I don't know if I like it.
I think your goblin with those lips is walking her beat, looking for the action that she's looking for.
I was
and
gonna
she's
say, did
doing.
you ever see the meme out there about the barbarian who is trying to push an orc off the cliff and rolled a natural 1?
Yeah, exactly.
Romantic.
I know
That
exactly
story has a
what
happy
happened
ending.
Yeah, after like 74 different natural 1s.
Yeah, it's a lot of natural ones, but really they won in the end. I mean, it was good for both of them.
It's actually one of my favorite kind of morals in terms of you don't always have to make natural 1s utter failures. Like they don't always have to be devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I call it when one of my players rolled. This is how the first DM I ever played with did it. Where if someone rolled a 1, that person would then roll any even-sided dice, and if they rolled an even number, it would just fail like normal. And if they rolled an odd number, something odd would happen. Again, didn't have to be a failure. It was just going to be something odd. So that's the rule I play with when I DM, and I think that's
See,
fun.
Dan, he takes out punishment cards, and he's like, "Oh, I pulled out a card. Oh, your character loses butt. Your character's butt falls off," and I'm just like,
Butt has never fallen off.
I hate when my character's butt falls off. That's the worst.
I was just mad because one time I killed a player character that she was a big fan of, and she has not let me live it down since.
"Fuck it."
That is a capital crime, killing an important character that
The
your
dice
players love.
sometimes dictate things happen.
The dice
No, it's
giveth
not.
and the dice taketh
That is
away.
valid motivation.
Shut up, Tom.
And there were consequences for those poor choices.
I recently gave one of the players of mine his first player death, and I didn't even really mean to. In fact, it was one of my players that pointed out to me that when a mind flayer crits as a killing blow, they eat your brain, and if they eat your brain, there's no resurrection abilities. I'm like, oh yeah, that is true. So I gave my friend inspiration for pointing that out to me.
But your other friend was thrilled.
It was his brother, so I mean, pretty much
Yeah,
normal.
that sounds about right.
My favorite character was about to die a couple of weeks ago, and the DM rolled like off their desk and just happened to say like, "Oh man, I dropped the die." And I was like, "Wait," because for us, when we played in person, that was an automatic failure. Does that mean my last saving die was an automatic success? And they were like, "Oh dang, yeah." So I got to heal, and I live.
Nice.
That's the same thing that happened. Yeah, my character, she was supposed to die, but she got brought back, and like, I now have a doll of her. I made her, and like, but she got like, they basically just made rules that she could never taste or smell ever again. And I'm like, she's a chef, not my barbarian chef.
So it's funny you mentioned that. I'm actually starting to implement a new, not that player deaths are a very common thing, but it's the D4 variant of Resurrection in 5th edition, which they use marbles that you pull from a bag, and people can basically give you shards of their soul, which gives you a better chance. They add marbles to your bag, and depending on what color you choose, you either just come back to life, or you fail and you die, or in between, there's actually complications that can arise. And it's a D100 chart that you have to roll. And it can be anything from you go blind in your left eye to you can't smell anymore to you're afraid of the outdoor, just like a whole bunch of different things. So that even if you die and come back, there's still some repercussions to it. It's not just like this thing happened and now we move on, because it should be a big thing. It just doesn't have to be a permanent thing.
Yeah, I died via acid ooze, and so I had fear of acid and ooze.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah.
My favorite player death was not my own player death, but my friend's. He died kind of stupidly, but we ended up picking up these like magical gems. They were diamonds, and we used one of them to resurrect him. This is Pathfinder, so you needed like a diamond of X amount to resurrect him. And it turned out that they belonged to the god of the dead. Yeah. And they had souls in them, or they were when you use one, they can have consequences. So my husband, who's the GM, rolled to see. He was like, there's a 20% chance that like something bad is going to happen, and he rolled for something bad to happen. So an extra soul came back and got stuck to like this character's soul, and it turned into like a 6-month real-time like scenario where we were trying to figure out how to get that soul out of his body and into her own body again. Like we had to hire someone to go get her corpse.
Oh, that's fun.
From like where it was buried in like this area. She was an elf, and it was in Kyonin, if you're familiar with the Pathfinder setting. Where you can't go there if you're not an elf, and none of us were elves. So we were like, we have to hire some like bad guys, like criminals, to go like smuggle this corpse out of there. And
also had to hunt down her serial killer.
And then we had to hunt down her serial killer because she was terrified of leprechauns. It was a leprechaun that killed her. We hunted down the serial killer.
I'm sorry, was there a leprechaun serial killer?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he was terrifying. Like, it sounds like it's a joke. He was the scariest thing that we have fought so far, and we fought like a lot of scary stuff. He was the scariest. So and in the process of killing him and like getting her body back, we also rescued like other victims of his. So we ended up with this whole like group of people who now owe us their lives, and we invited them to live in our kingdom, and like we regularly check up on them, to like my husband's dismay, because he has to keep all of these people in his mind.
How many different voices do you have to remember?
Oh, he remembers many voices, and we yell at him when he doesn't do the right voice for the right person.
It's true. Well, no. You yell at me when I stop using it because I'm tired of doing the accent for that day.
Yes.
Hold on, I gotta hop on here.
He's sitting.
I knew it. I was like, he's coming. He's coming on.
Right, yeah, he's right over here.
Hold on, I've gotta.
You gotta what?
Okay. Yeah. So at one point, I stopped using an accent for a.
This is my husband, Tom.
I stopped using an accent for a character who is beloved by the party. He's a masked vigilante who speaks with an Irish like lilt. And I stopped using it for like one day because like I just didn't feel like doing the accent. They started making insight checks, sense motive checks, like minute by minute as he was talking, because they did not believe it was him. And I told them
the accent.
And I told them
I'm tired, guys.
Yeah, and so like every time he does it, I'm always like, Tom, you're not doing the accent. How do we know that this is actually the Raven? And he's like,
wow,
it's the goddamn Raven. Like just believe me on that. So it's gonna come back to bite us. Everyone in this game has died at least twice except for me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because they jump in front of things for me.
Hold on. Knock has only died once.
Yeah, but now he has a thing with his goddess because Sachi died. Well, so if he dies again, Sachi also dies.
Tell them Sachi's latest death.
Sachi is the rogue that ended up with another person in his head. We were in this dungeon and he touched a sphere of annihilation.
That's not a thing to do.
Oh no, it was very bad because like we were like, oh, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm just gonna touch it, and he touched it and then got annihilated. And we were like, what happened? Did he get stuck somewhere? Like, we have magical pins to talk to each other. Can we talk to him? And Tom was like, no, you can't. It's nothing. There's nothing there. You can't find him. So we have two clerics in the party. We have a war priest and an oracle, but they're basically clerics. and they both like communed with their gods to like see what they could do. And basically the war priest god was like, I'll bring him back, but there's going to be a trial for you. And if you fail this trial, your friend gets annihilated again. So are you willing to take this on?
Jeez.
Yeah. And so he was like, yes, I will take it on. And then Sachi came back with no memory of what had just happened and was about to touch it again when we tackled him down and told him never touch a giant roiling black
But
spear.
I like that character play, because if that character genuinely came back with no memory, but a moment before they had gone to touch it, it follows that their first response would be to want to go and touch it. So
yeah, it was
Everybody's
very
mini.
funny.
What's everybody's mini look like right now?
Oh, I wanted to ask what should Carlo, do you think the armor should be?
I'm doing it as a leather armor, and then I'm going to go back in because I'm insane, and all those little dots on his shoulder pad I'm going to put as either copper or silver studs.
How can you do that? How do you have the dexterity and that with the little and your hands and the?
I have a very small little brush.
I don't
And it's
have-
actually
Or a
it's how you
toothpick.
hold
If you have
things
a
too. So I've
toothpick,
got
you can
this
pour it.
this mini holder from Citadel that's great. And so what I'll do when I need to do things like that is I'll hold it in one hand and I'll actually press my palm against it on the other. So it's literally just my fingers moving. And that way I can just go in and dab.
You can use a toothpick for it, Christy. If you don't have a tiny brush, you could use
or a pin. A pin also
Um,
works for something really tiny.
I just won't be able to do it even with something small. It'll
You
come out
might.
as a mess.
And it's gloopy, so I'm just waiting for it to dry.
Yeah, mine too, Amanda.
Let me see. I want to see.
She wants to see.
Yeah.
I need to make this browner. How do you make brown? I don't have a brown color.
Red and green.
Red and
okay.
I don't know how good of
Red
a
and
brown
green.
it will create when you mix just red and green.
It works sort of.
A little
Sometimes
bit of
you have more
black.
It'll
yellow.
probably be more
You
of
can,
like a
adjust it.
sewage brown, but you know.
Yeah. But hey,
it's adjustable.
You asked how to make brown.
True.
I've also seen those, like the little thing that you've got to hold your mini, Rob. I've seen somebody make those with like
soda
a
bottle, soda
wooden
caps.
edge cup or
Oh,
something.
The corks.
Yeah, maybe. And a
So-
cork, maybe. Yeah, like
so if you paint a
sun.
lot of minis, you also end up with just this.
It's so
you
tiny.
you don't have to. Yeah. So I just have a wall of paints here, and I still don't have the brown I'm looking for.
That's frustrating.
What color is this? That is yellow. That is not what I want. There we go.
I'm running out of space in my paint area.
On your mini?
No, I have a little dish where I'm pouring my paints and mixing them together, and that's kind of running out of space in it.
Everybody's so concentrating.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's tell Dan, tell the story of the time you tried to murder Chadwick.
I don't think I ever intentionally tried to kill Chadwick. Are you talking about when you made a series of poor decisions that led to you dangling?
Oh,
That series of poor decisions. You just made us roll dexterity 700 times until we failed.
No, I did not. You jumped off the cliff to try and help someone else with a series of ridiculous motions that you wanted to be able to accomplish in a single turn.
I mean, I can't help that my character is the most ridiculous character.
I think you're the only one who can help that.
I was gonna say, actually, I think that you can.
No, I really can't. It's just how it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
I don't play along with her troll character. She makes me look like I'm the harshest DM in the world.
I mean, I guess that's fair. I am accidentally playing my first chaotic evil character in a campaign right now. He didn't start that way. I started modeling him after Sherlock Holmes, but it's kind of Moriarty at this point.
They're not that different, really.
No, it's just one little tip of the
There's a really
of the
great,
moral
Neil Gaiman
compass.
wrote a really great story about that. He a study in it's studying green.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Study
the
in Emerald.
Cthulhu one.
Yeah, the Cthulhu one. That's
Oh, I
like
loved it.
that
Yeah.
stars the whole time. You think it's Sherlock Holmes, and it's not. It's
Yep,
really
I'm
interesting.
a huge
good.
Sherlock fan. It was
Yeah.
one of the
My cat
first
is named Sherlock.
large fancy books I ever owned.
Yeah, I did my 6th grade book report on a Sherlock Holmes story. Like the Speckled Band.
I just a
That's a
couple of
good
years
one.
ago did a touring radio show of the Speckled Band. I was the Foley guy.
The best way to murder someone was to just shove a snake in their ventilation.
Now you gotta freeze a leg of lamb, hit him over the head with it, and then cook it. So when the cops come, you feed them soup and they eat the evidence.
I feel like this too.
Arthur, I'm going to recommend you never try to be a serial killer.
So other people, we recommend they become serial killers, but you.
So Sarah's party was making their way over a mountain and was walking along a very narrow cliff. So it was just a series of dexterity checks.
100 dexterity checks until somebody failed.
It was like 5.
Yeah, 5 dexterity checks, and everybody did well. And he kept being like, "Okay, well, you all did okay. So, you come to the next corner, and oh, it's another cliff. You gotta roll a dexterity check." It's like, and then everybody rolled okay, and he was like, "Oh, okay, none of you failed. All right. So, you come to this raggedy bridge. Make a dexterity check."
None of that is accurate.
Someone's not bitter about it at all either. She's totally fine with it.
And Sarah decided that she was going to, the rest of the party had thrown them a rope. And Sarah had decided that she was going to swing down on a separate rope in order to rescue them. And through some complicated action, grab them and throw them up and switch ropes. And so she immediately started rolling before even finding out if any of what she wanted to do was possible, which it was not. And throughout, despite both of our best efforts to find a way to make this work logically, she failed and fell off this cliff. One thing that she did have in her bag, however, was her character is a typical horny bard. And
no, he's an atypical horny bard.
And had a very large container of magical lubricant. So,
we need to go on to the Mastermind channel and change this to an adult show.
Like, no, guys, hold on. We're on Twitch. I'm not sure if we're
that's as far as it goes. That's as far as it goes. But because she was then covered in this super friction reducing material, when she hit beside the bottom of the
so it was a vial of oil of slipperiness then.
Yeah. So when she hit,
that's a real magic item.
Just slid instead of coming to a swift stop, which managed to help her survive. But then lodged herself inside a fallen tree trunk.
Okay.
She then managed to seduce a series of Ents and Dryads to make her way back to the party eventually.
So in fairness, instead of a large series of dexterity checks, all he could have done is just made it like a DC 35 or something.
True. My other question is, for this magical substance in D&D, right, there's like no silicone. So are we using
magic,
like emulsifiers from like
magic
pennies or agar?
Yes, it's made out of agar. That's canon now. We've decided.
There is an NSFW third-party resource book
Through third edition D&D third-party source books.
That we homebrewed up to give Sarah's character some interesting and potentially useful items for her amorous adventurings.
I'm gonna go with. See, I don't have a black. Is the problem? Maybe I'll do I have a gray and a blue for the eyebrows.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for the hair for the eyebrows just yet.
Yeah,
All right.
is that my character is a 3.5 foot tall in boots bard who's halfling, and he has a whole bunch of like what we want to do is eventually just have there be like a whole band of half halflings who are like trying to find their dad.
I saw that. I've seen that like joke of like the meme of like everyone plays a half like human, and the human bard, like you have to go find the human bard that fathered you.
I didn't even know that was a meme. I thought I was being creative.
I mean,
It's still
in
a
fairness,
great idea. It's a great idea.
in fairness, there's like no unique stories left. So
Exactly.
I wanted there to be like a half halfling situation, like a half halfling, half orc, half halfling, half goblin.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb how there's only like half elf, half orc, and it's like it's only human and two other things, and I'm like,
there was a speaking of like kind of questionable third edition like third party source books, there was one called like I can't, it was like the Book of Bastards or something like that, and it was all like half breeds. What?
I think it was Complete Bastard.
It could be complete, but I don't know. It was something, but it was actually one of my favorite books because it actually like talked about the fact that like humans should be able to breed with everything if they can breed with half elves, with elves and orcs. So it was really fun.
Yeah.
We had a half dryad in one of my games that I ran because of that. So
I think I just saw some rules recently for not through the same methods, mind you, but a half mind flayer, which seemed a lot of fun. It was the Sarah Morphosis, I believe, is got stopped halfway.
Interesting.
Well, I could see my character seducing a mind flayer. That would happen.
I mean, as a very famous DM would say, you could certainly try.
as someone who's played the hit supergiant game Hades, I would.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as someone who's played the hit supergiant game Hades, I would say you can totally try to seduce what basically is like a gorgon.
Say, Dan?
What's that?
Were you gonna say something?
Well, I was going to say the problem with the you can certainly try it is you have a tendency to roll very, very high for very ridiculous things.
It's true. It's my special talent.
Yeah, then we all have fun.
Yeah, see, that's what I hate about the character that I'm playing recently is that I'll have like +9s in certain skills. So my dice sense that. They're like, you're never going to roll above a 2.
That's why I play a rogue, where you can't roll under a 10.
Here's my my trick of the trade. I'm gonna try putting some silver like flakes onto my sword. See how that goes?
Yeah, I kind of painted my sword just white, and I don't love it.
You were going for like a bone look?
I went with
Well, I was going for like a sword look, but I don't like it. Then it just looks like the rest of it.
Is it like Sarah? Is it like gold? Like you would have like gold flake almost, but it's silver instead. Like
yeah,
that.
like gold. I have gold. I have
Really?
copper, and I have silver.
Okay.
So now I'm actually. It's actually kind of satisfying. I'm sticking it on
Yeah.
my little.
And then you're yeah.
So there is a technique for doing metals called non-metallic metal, where you actually just paint using matte colors, and it looks like metal afterwards. And I consider it witchcraft and have no idea how the people do it.
I've seen tutorials on that, and it's like it takes hours and hours. Like
yeah, I use
it's the
metallic
same thing with
paints.
the ones that have like the light where it makes it look like something is lit
Object
up and
source
it's like
lighting,
flashing
yeah.
back. Yeah, that is
I-
also a like witchcraft, and you can't figure out how to do it.
I'm not great at it, but I've gotten decent at it. In fact, I'm gonna run and grab the one that I think worked the best. It's from a game that I recently got called Tainted Grail: Fall of Avalon. So I'll be right back.
Look how it's coming.
That is cool.
Very cute.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Okay, my
Oh,
hooligans are getting a little hooligan-y, and I'm gonna need to scooch. But you guys are awesome. Bye.
Mini,
Hi,
Amanda.
Amanda.
Let's see it. Here you go.
Here, I'm gonna keep working on it tomorrow when it's a little more dry and I can have more detail. But he's got some
Awesome.
things and some sort of eyeballs.
We'll post all the photos on the page.
I'm excited so far. It doesn't match my favorite set of dice though. But I guess it's okay because they live in a vault. So I'll have to steal a D20 from the kids. And
Yeah.
because
You know,
I'm
something.
like a cheat of a D&D player and I only have one set
Yeah.
because I said I was going to save and just get one
Mhm.
and then stick to it. And so far, so good. But it was very expensive.
Yeah.
So that was my trade-off.
They can get very expensive.
They're Tiger's Eye. I got them at PAX.
Oh, beautiful.
So,
Where
so
did
the
you get
problem
them
with
from?
See you, Amanda. Thanks for hanging out.
Hey,
Well,
Amanda.
I got them. I'll show Allie real quick before I leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
wanna
what I
see
was
this.
thinking. I'm like, oh, Allie's gonna want to see him.
Oh, here's their
ooh,
home.
Beautiful.
Ooh.
Pretty.
Because I don't like how most dice have gold in them. I don't like gold at all.
Mine are pink and golds.
Well,
Mama, can I
Sorry.
unplug this and stuff?
you can unplug it. Okay, I got. Bye.
Bye.
Allie, bye, Allie.
Bye.
Allie.
I think I got the whole sword.
Yeah.
whenever we're done.
That looks rad.
Pretty.
So the problem with getting into painting miniatures is if you enjoy it, you can never get a board game and not paint the miniatures. So this is from the Tainted Grail game, and this is the.
Oh,
see if I
wow.
can't get it in focus.
Oh.
That's beautiful.
Nope, no focus. Oh, there we go. So this is the object source lighting that she was talking about.
Oh.
And then that guy as well.
Oh, wow. That's
So as I said, I'm not great at it, but I've
So
started
cool.
to get the hang of it at least.
no, that's
So
very
you
Oh
can
my gosh,
see.
now you're making me want me to go break out my zombicide and start.
So I still have like 4 of these miniatures to paint, and I've gotten a game called Dungeonology that I didn't realize at the time, but when I kickstarted it, I bought every single expansion, and that should be coming soon. And I already have like 12 of their miniatures unpainted, and I'm about to get like 30 more, and I'm a little
We'll keep
afraid.
you occupied during the next quarantine.
Yeah, I'm a
coming.
little scared.
We're like, what happened to Rob? He's
I
painting
didn't-
all the minis.
Yeah, I didn't intend to make miniature painting my full-time job, but so I've got on this guy now, I've got his shield painted, and it's hard to see in there, but I've got his let's see if I can turn him on the base. There we go. So I got his loincloth and his little skull in there painted.
I love that the thing that holds him looks like a tower. How are you making out, Christy?
His feet have kind of disappeared into the base. Like I did his shoes the same color as the. Let me see if I can. Hold on.
That's
maybe-
fine. You just go back afterwards and you repaint the base a different color.
I'm gonna take
The
my
amount of times that I've
background
done it. In fact, I always leave the base
so
to
you can
last
see my-
because I'm very sloppy when it comes to painting the shoes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he looks cute, Christy.
Oh, looks great.
Yeah, he's super cute.
Thanks.
Because of the lack of
Thanks.
contrast of your webcam, it looks a little bit like the Joker, but I love it.
I just noticed that as I was
Baby.
holding it up, I was like, that's a real Joker thing he's got going on.
Baby Yoda. I don't know.
Those are two very different aesthetics.
They totally are. Every time I see yours, Rob, I keep thinking that color is called chartreuse, but I forget if that's yellow or pink, like that green yellow.
Uh,
What am I thinking of?
I don't know, but my paint calls it goblin skin.
Oh, perfect. Perfect for it.
That is why my goblins are all this color, is because the original paint kit I got, their goblin skin was this color. I'm like, well, if it says it on the label, then I guess that's what I'm painting.
True. Must be true.
As a classic green boy, I disagree with this.
Well, it also, I mean, just speaking from a fact that I own the shop doing this, it does make my goblins stand out from the crowd, because they are, most goblins out there are green.
Right. How's yours coming along, Arthur?
Oh, really good. This is.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, look at his eyes.
Whoa.
That's
so
rad.
green. I love it.
Thank you. I still want to color the scar, and I'm not sure what color I want to paint the scar.
Ooh, you just reminded me. I have a paint called Orc Scar that I'll use for the scar.
Wow, that is very specific.
Yeah, they found out that if you name things like that, then miniature painters will spend money on it.
They specialize.
Yep.
I can't wait to get home and paint mine now.
Why did I try to gild the inside of my goblin's head? This was a bad mistake.
Wow, you're gilding it?
Well, silvering it.
Silver, yeah.
Still.
It doesn't wear, Sarah, that the silver stuff, does it stays really good?
I'm sure it will wear a little bit, but I feel like that's okay. So I'm trying to put the colors in.
Oh yeah, that looks neat.
I've also got some hair for my goblin that I need to put on.
That's not a bad
Speaking
idea.
of hair, what color should I make his hair?
What did you say, Dan?
So that's not a bad idea. I might try and gild the, because I've been trying to figure out what to do with the inside of the head here, but my phone's charging, which is why I don't have the camera on. I'm trying to make him look like a leprechaun, thanks to the leprechaun serial killer story.
Yes, terrify your players.
But I think a gold inside his head would look gorgeous, and I'm pretty sure I
That'd
still
be
have
really cool.
It's his pot of gold.
Exactly. He's almost
Back
like
of leprechauns?
like a leprechaun.
So what you're saying is his pot of gold was inside him all along?
So painting his goblin like a leprechaun because of my story.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. So I'm getting close to one of my favorite steps of painting miniatures, which is colloquially called the liquid talent, which is ink washes.
I thought you were going to have a beer, but all right.
Wow. Liquid talent sounds good right now. Nice, cool.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
a little liquid talent myself.
they're great because they just kind of they soak contrast into all the little nooks and crannies on the miniature and pop out all the details without you having to do any real work.
I like games.
I need another color to go with my vaporwave goblin. What? So I've got my
What other color would look good? Maybe how much of it for where?
Well, I need the belt.
Okay. What about like a yellow
I was
pastel?
also thinking yellow. Yeah, actually, you should do a yellow.
Yeah, yellow's a great idea. I've got two different colors of yellow. I've got mid yellow and lemon. Which one's better?
I think
Lemon.
Lemon?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, me and Kristen on the same
Oh,
page.
you're so on the same page, Arthur.
All right. Thank you so much for your help. and for believing in me.
We always are here for you, Sarah.
Sarah, where's your little one? Sleeping?
Yeah, she's in the snoo.
Oh, I had to snoo. Man, it was life-changing.
Yeah.
The snoo. Oh my
Robot
gosh.
bed. It's a robot bed.
It's a robot.
I'm
bed.
sorry, what?
Really?
Yeah, it's a robot bed for babies. It rocks the baby to sleep. It goes like this, and it makes
It's a lullaby, and it makes a shushing noise.
I'm gonna. Let's go check on the baby.
Yes.
Why don't you have
So my
That's like a baby.
my little guy was.
Did they
the
make
worst
them in
sleeper
adult
ever.
sizes?
That's exactly what my brother asked, and the answer is no. We looked into it. But if your child is a terrible sleeper like mine was,
Even
the
if they're
snoo
sleeper.
was life changing because he did not sleep more than
Oh.
like 45 minutes at a clip.
Oh, Seth was a good sleeper. I don't remember Luke. Allie, do you remember if Luke was a good sleeper? I don't even remember. I can't remember.
He used to, like, I would rock him and he would fall asleep sometimes.
Yeah,
He just had a lot of energy. Like, you couldn't get him to sit still.
Well, it's probably why I can't remember. I think
There's the snoo. There's the snoo, everyone.
Oh, look at Annie. Hey, baby.
Don't talk to her. She's asleep.
Don't wake her up. Oh my gosh, she's all swaddled in there. That's so
Yeah, that's the other thing. It swaddles.
Baby straight
too.
jacket so they can't kill themselves. It's great.
That is brilliant.
It is
Oh my gosh,
brilliant.
I wish I had had that. I just stayed up worried.
It's expensive, but
We're renting. We're renting.
at like 4:30 in the morning one morning when I thought I was gonna like actually literally die. I was like, that's it. I'm gonna die. Like I will die. I was like, and I
you're
found
selling
myself.
parenthood to me here.
I found myself saying to my child, "Here's the deal, bud. I'll pay you $1,000 if you'll sleep for 2 hours." And then I was like, you know what? If I'm willing to pay my kid $1,000 to sleep for 2 hours, maybe I just come up with the money and see if this thing helps. And it did. And then I gave it to my friends who had kids. So now we're like kind of passing it around the friend circuit. So we're getting our money out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's now. You could rent them now. It's only like $100 a month. And my mom's.
Oh, brilliant.
My mom's.
It's worth every penny.
That is brilliant. No, I can totally understand that.
Yes, worth it.
Every time I paint one thing, I get paint on another thing, and it's a
You
vicious
can always go back and touch it up once
Yeah,
it's
that's
I know,
the thing
but
about
we-
painting. You have to get more and more careful as you go. You can start off being sloppy, and then by the end, you have to like barely touch the mini.
Yeah, every time I go back and refix something else, then something else gets touched.
You guys having fun?
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
I've
I
actually
was
never
having
painted
fun,
this
now
guy
I'm having
before,
a
so I am.
giant war.
So what's your latest Netflix binge?
Castlevania.
Castlevania. Excellent.
Eurovision.
If
Eurovision is such a great movie.
Oh my God, right?
It's so good. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, but it's so good.
Neither. On election night, I reached out to a bunch of people and I was like, I need something stupid and funny that's going to make me not stay up looking at the results every 5 minutes. And my friend said, check
How'd
this out.
that work?
It totally did.
Okay.
For a while, for the 2 hours that the movie lasted, and I've watched it like 3 times since then.
What is it called? Eurovision?
Eurovision.
It's the new Will Ferrell
I haven't
movie.
even heard of it.
It's
hadn't
Will
either.
Ferrell. It's actually like it's really good. It's very heartwarming. It's got really good music. I like.
The
I
accents
listen
are
to Double
hysterical.
Trouble all the time. Like
And
it's
perfect. Yeah. My son, my 3-year-old, asks for Ya Ya Ding Dong. Like he heard me listening to it once, and it clicked something in him where that's the only song, and he'll be in the car being like, "Play it again, mommy, play it again, play it." And I'm like,
"Oh yeah, yeah, Ding Dong."
Why don't we listen to something else? And he goes, "No, play Ya Ya Ding Dong." Which when you watch the movie, you'll get why that's.
Yeah, Ding Dong. Sounds awesome.
It's a great movie. I recommend it.
I will totally be watching that tomorrow. I started watching Kingdom of Heaven from 2005, and I'm like, why have I never seen this before? It's like all of the things I like.
I think I started watching that at one point and then got distracted, so I have to go back.
Well, it's definitely one that you kind of have to pay attention to because there's a lot going on, but it's kind
I
of
think that's why I put it on hold, because
yes.
I tend to
Jeremy
just do
Irons
14
and-
things at once.
Yeah, Liam Neeson and like Orlando Bloom and Ava
Yes.
Green. I was like, and it was directed by Ridley Scott. I was like, how did this get by me? Yes.
I was obsessed with that movie. I had like the production book and
Oh yeah, you were really into it.
dozens of times. Because it's like big historical epics like that are one of my guilty pleasures, and that's probably my favorite one. It's just so well done.
Yeah, which is really why I thought it was really so odd that I didn't remember it, but I also would have had a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old at the time. So
Yeah, you don't remember much with a 3-year-old.
yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. It all blends together.
From what I understand, that's how you have multiple children, is that you
Yes.
block out the
Right. It's also what happens.
My advice to anyone who ever wants to have me run a D&D game for them is do not watch Castlevania, because I will steal most of it. It's literally there is a genre of film that is, imagine watching this as a D&D game or as a tabletop playing game in general.
I do that all the
Very
time.
fun.
That's like the only thing I do with my life is I watch it and I say, how could you make this a D&D game?
I was
It's amazing.
I just watched Matt Coville's thing on one person D&D games, and literally like the first few episodes are like one character until they meet the rest of the group, and it is very interesting to watch it that way and look at it through that lens.
I wrote a 1v1 adventure for an anthology on DM's Guild, and it was so much fun to think of it and kind of do that. It was it's so like an interesting genre because like it's so intimate and like intense, and you always have to come up with something for them to do. Like you can't ever be like, I don't know what to do with you, so I'm going to switch to someone else. And it's really cool.
If you guys haven't watched it yet, look up Matt Mercer playing with Stephen Colbert. He ran a one-off, and just watching the delight in Stephen Colbert's eyes as Matt started to set the scene.
I will totally watch that.
Sarah, what were you saying?
So when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with this anime called Inuyasha.
Oh yeah.
It's about like a dog demon, and so like I was like, well, I wanted to watch it again, and now like I took it so seriously as a teenager, and now I'm just like laughing my head off the whole time because it's just like a bad D&D campaign. We gotta capture the jewels. We gotta find the jewels, Guy.
Quick interruption. I am painting his butt.
So it won't fall off.
Yeah, Dan.
No butts falling off.
Speaking of shows that become D&D campaigns, if anyone's read King of the Wild, it is a D&D campaign. It is my favorite thing in the entire world. It is about, like, I just imagine it with, like, Adam Sandler in it and, like, Jack Black, because it's a bunch of, like, older guys who have kids that are grown up, and one of their kids goes missing because they went off adventuring, and now they have to get, like, the band back together of D&D adventurers.
Oh, I love that.
And
I
like,
read a really good book called NPCs, which is like what happens to the so this group of like adventurers comes into town, and they're like clearly it keeps cutting back to the D&D game that they're in, and they end up dying, and a bunch of NPCs have to take up like the save the world quest. And it was just like, it was really interesting because they all had to figure out what character they were playing like in world, and they ended up being the wrong characters. Like the person who was going to be the mage ended up being the barbarian, and the person who was going to be the fighter ended up being the rogue. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's really
I highly
cool.
recommend that one.
I gotta read that one. Yeah, in this one, I got hooked on it because my boyfriend was like, yeah, they call the D&D groups like the adventuring groups bands, and they have like Battle of the Bands. Where it's like Battle of the Adventurers, and like they're known as like they have groupies and fans, and I'm like, what?
That's awesome.
If you like the sort of metatextual idea of a story as a D&D game, there's a old webcomic called Darth and Droids, which basically goes through D&D, or it goes through Star Wars in that idea of a tabletop role-playing game they're playing.
That all the time. Cheddar Knights instead of Jedi is like still my favorite thing.
It was Adam Driver's birthday today.
Speaking of Star Wars.
Speaking of Star Wars. Totally not Star Wars, but are any of you guys watching Lower Decks, the Star Trek?
I have caught it, yeah.
It's
No.
really good.
Yeah, I really like it. It's I don't like it as much as I love the Orville, but it's not trying to be the Orville. I feel like Orville was just Star Trek light, like,
yeah,
which is what I loved. I was like, this is just original Star Trek, and I'm into it. Like, it's
Totally.
trying real hard.
Yeah, we like Discovery too. This latest season is really good too, but
We're currently rewatching Dexter since Showtime announced that they're bringing that back.
what?
Oh yeah, Showtime's bringing Dexter back for season 9.
Shut up! Are you kidding?
Yeah, I
Whoa,
can't
it's been
wait.
forever.
Yeah, so
How are
Michael
they
C.
gonna
Hall has
do
already
that?
signed. So they said that they're not rewriting the final season, but their goal is to give a more satisfying conclusion because they do recognize that a lot of fans were not satisfied with the ending.
Yeah,
I personally was, but I am very lighthearted when it comes to letting series do their own thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's their story, but I can
Yeah.
also understand why people were upset by it.
yeah. I wasn't terribly upset by it, but I did feel like it was a little bit rushed.
Yeah. So they're coming back for it just to be a single season. But
Whoa.
they go into production next year, so we won't see it till 22 probably.
Years.
Okay, this is better. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's
but-
awesome.
Yeah, I put some blood splatter on this sword and it looks much better. Oh,
Blood
specifically I'll send a picture later. You can't, like, my camera's not really picking it up, but basically the sword looked kind of white, but now it's got blood splatter on it and looks much better.
Perfect.
Blood spatter makes everything better.
Totally.
I
I'll quote you on that.
my vaporwave goblins too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I
Yellow
love
was
it.
so the right choice.
Yes.
Yep.
I need to add the black, and I need to give it hair. I'm doing a dark green.
Where are you putting hair on it?
Yeah, I've been wondering that the whole time, but I figured I'd let it be a surprise.
I asked it.
Well, okay, so I have this really
Like a treasure, like all I can think of is like in the front, like a treasure troll. Like, are we treasure trolling?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I'm down for that.
Got this great like wool from a special kind of sheep, and it's this really cool color.
Oh, that I
A
can
special
feel
kind
that.
of sheep.
I can feel it. I can feel what that feels like through the camera.
I'm thinking this really goes well with the aesthetic.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's awesome. That is not at all what I was expecting, and I love it. It's
So if
great.
I glue it on, like it'll look like that.
Yep. I'm with you.
Maybe like up here,
Uh-huh.
some sort of Merida fantasy going.
All right, I feel like I've reached a place where if I keep going, it's going to start going in the other direction here.
Yep, and you have to recognize when that happens.
Yeah.
I've overpainted several miniatures, but so this is with the liquid talent on it.
Oh, that looks cool.
So you can see it gets really into all the details and makes them pop. So that it especially does really well on the shield, the wood grain. It gets into those crevices nicely.
Very cool.
So I just have to, the only problem with ink washes is they take forever to dry because they're literally just.
Let's see yours.
they're
Oh
just
yeah,
liquid.
that looks great, Christy. That looks great.
Thanks.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to see
It is awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Oh yeah, you reminded me. I think I want to put lipstick on my guy.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you guys are not doing like I want to say realistic look, but I mean they're goblins, so the traditional looks, because I just can't break away from doing like the traditional paint jobs per the monster manuals.
all goblins are valid.
Hey Rob, it's 2020. Come on.
How's yours coming, Dan?
Not bad. I got the wrong. I knew I didn't have quite the paints I wanted. Where'd I go?
Oh, that looks great, Laura. Oh, I love it.
I like the dark green.
Ooh, Laura, that's a good green.
More of
Thank
a
you.
That's a good green.
skin, but
Yeah.
And I like your eyebrows.
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I know it's probably supposed to be like eye ridges.
No, not your miniatures, your eyebrows. I just
Yeah,
want to.
I was just about to ask if you meant his or the goblins.
I came on this call to give Dan a compliment, and I figured it'd be a good way to sneak it in, and I finally got my chance. Kristen, it was great working with you. I am now have to resign from Mastermind Adventures. I have done what I came here to do. Goodbye.
Mission accomplished. Let's see your. Want to see
What?
yours now? Yeah. let me see.
Oh, sorry. You were
That's
cutting
okay.
out. Hold on, let me turn this a little bit so you can be in the light.
Oh,
It's still hard to see him.
1 sec.
Yeah, it looks good though.
Tom's gonna light him for me.
Oh, thank you, Tom. You're here for us. Oh, I like that green too.
Yeah, I wanted to make him kind of like a turquoisey green.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
pretty actually.
I was
For a
originally gonna make him
goblin.
like a winter themed goblin because we have a in Tom's campaign we have a goblin named Rip Snarl who's a like a companion and an advisor to like a Viking queen.
Yep.
And I was gonna make him like kind of a like really pale.
Mhm.
And then I came up with this color and I just really liked the color a lot more than my original idea. So
Pretty. Arthur,
So
how's the goblin butt? Give
Oh,
us a
Goblin butt's all
goblin butt.
done. I could probably do another coat on the butt, honestly.
Yeah, to make sure the
What
butt's
kind
covered.
Probably from your fingertip right there, like on this hand.
Is Tom jealous?
I'm working on the
no, he's
star
just
right
telling me I
now.
have paint in my hair and is trying to make me look silly on
No, I saw it and I thought it was like just something. I didn't realize it was paint.
Yes, it's just paint, Tom.
Okay, my apologies. I'm sorry I made you look silly on TV.
Well, I'm sure you're not, but that's
I
fine.
am. My job is to make you look good, not silly.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw.
Don't listen to him. He's a jerk.
All right.
Why you
That's
married?
just the
That is
just
why
the
I married you.
quarantine talking.
No, he's great.
Thank you.
He's I keep telling him he's like a really great GM and he never believes me. So
I don't kill you guys enough.
you do kill us enough. We just keep coming back.
They just keep getting better.
Yeah, it's true.
Time to
We're actually fighting aliens in our game right now. It's very scary.
Hey, Tom, just so you know, in the Dungeon Master's Guide, there are rules for laser weapons. Just gonna put that out
Oh,
there.
I have a laser weapon. I have 2 of them. Actually, I have
I
4
meant
of
for
them.
the enemies, but okay.
Oh, they're just like they're giant, scary. We actually fought. So we're in Pathfinder. We're level 15,
Oh, okay.
I think
14.
14. And we just fought a Baylor.
Ooh.
It exploded on us and almost killed us. Everyone took a whole bunch of damage except for me, who has improved evasion, who did not take the damage.
Okay, so Allie, of course, I'm a big expert and I know what a Baylor is, but for the people watching,
I was
the
actually
people
just about
watching.
to pull up a picture of the miniature of the Baylor that I have.
Yeah, so Baylors are
They're terrifying.
They're like the biggest, baddest demons that exist. For example, like in Pathfinder, a Baylor is challenge rating 20, which means a party of 4 adventurers of level 20 would like have they'd be pretty evenly matched against this guy. And apparently we're so good at fighting that Tom has started putting us at CRs like +6 from our level, and it's very scary because we almost die every single fight. But these guys, this Baylor, he modified the Baylor to be more cold based rather than fire based, which is kind of cool. But it means that all of our fire weapons and things do a whole lot of damage. In the last session, in attempting to figure out ways to fight all of these monsters, because they're all basically reskinned demons that have cold damage instead of fire damage. I got a grenade launcher that can fire alchemist fire like
Tell
a
them
grenade.
what it actually is.
It's a crossbow. It's a light crossbow, but I can load in alchemist fire and then fire it out. So I went to every alchemist that I know and bought like 100 vials of alchemist fire, and I used it against the demon that we fought last session. It worked okay. It wasn't the greatest. It would be better if there were more demons. We only fought one.
Yep.
But I have a laser weapon that does fire damage, and is absolutely insane. I don't know why he let me have it. I'm playing a vigilante in that game, which in Pathfinder is basically Batman.
Oh, nice.
My alter ego is the crown princess of the kingdom, and then I'm also the Silver Raven.
There are those that would say that your actual identity is the crown princess.
Yes,
and
it's
your
true.
alter ego.
My alter ego is the Raven. Yeah.
The Raven, yeah.
The Silver Raven.
So Arthur, this is a Baylor. I put it up on my screen.
Yeah, that's what I was like the cool about.
Yeah. So I'm playing, but my archetype is called Gunmaster, so I can use guns. So I have a whole bunch of like early firearms. I have like muskets, and I have like a flintlock pistol. And then I have a revolver that I got as a gift from my mentor vigilante. And now I have laser weapons, which is better than anyone else in the place has.
So if you have a mentor vigilante, that means you're more like Robin than Batman.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So he's the Raven and I'm the Silver Raven. In game, she has no idea who this guy is. He's been around for about 20 years. Her mother's the queen. I played her in a previous game. Had kind of like a romantic kind of fling with him. So she's convinced that she's the daughter of the Raven. The first time she met him, she was like, "Dad," and he was like, "What? No." But the funny thing is that her dad actually is the Raven. So the Raven is the king of the kingdom. The Raven is actually him and his twin sister, who's a wizard. So the two of them.
Did you say wizard or lizard?
A wizard.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So
there is a lizard wizard.
There is a lizard wizard, actually. Would that be so the other thing about our kingdom is that we have a whole bunch of kobolds there. They were like the original settlers of the area, and then all of like the humanoids came in and were like, we're taking over. So our one of the advisors to the crown is this this kobold called Micmac. We also call him Big Mac. He's very cool. He has a statue in our main city.
He does.
So there's this whole group of kobolds. They have a city called Reptopia in the middle of our kingdom, and they all really they're all gunslingers because the king taught them how to use guns so they could be a militia, and they're all they think that they're really cool and they want to be like all the humans. And my character as the crown princess, they basically made her an honorary kobold because they were like, if you're going to be part of the kingdom, then you also need to be a kobold because kobolds founded this place.
I mean, there's worse ways they could have made you into kobolds. They could have literally made you into kobolds.
Exactly. But there's so during the Founders Festival that we have every year, there's this whole ceremony where she has to eat a beetle, because these beetles were the food that the kobolds ate when they first came to this land. So there's this whole ceremony where they make her eat a live beetle in front of everyone, in the arena in front of the whole kingdom. And so there's this whole joke now that my character just enjoys eating beetles. There's a kobold brewery and they make beer out of the beetles.
Tell them to gag.
And but the funny thing is, so they're called bitter beetles, so they taste horrible. But if you kill them 10 minutes before you eat them, they taste really good. They taste sweet and they actually they're not gross. And we figured this out during another festival where my friends made me eat another beetle. And they had crushed it by accident, and it tasted
true
better.
Friends.
Yeah, they like to tease me a lot. It's very funny. Now all of them are also nobles. They all they've all either I've knighted one of them, and another one like asked for a boon for the queen and became a duke because his girlfriend is a duke and or a duchess. But yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, I could talk about this game forever. I'm probably taking up too much time anyway. But yeah.
Okay, but Christy's leaving, so say bye, Christy.
This was great.
Bye.
Thank
Hi, Christy.
you so much for the mini. I got to go deal with the child since, he doesn't sleep. And he's not. Right.
Aw, I hope he
You
gets
have
rest.
fun with that.
Thank you. But this was super fun. Thank you for
Cool.
being with me. My first
Post-
time.
Post a
trying-
picture in the chat when you get a chance. I want to see
Okay.
how everyone's came out.
All right, I will do that. Thanks, everybody.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Or bye, Christy. Not all of you. I'm still here.
Oh, hello. This is my wife. She's
Hey.
The fabled wife I've heard so much about.
Yeah.
That does not look like blacksmithing clothes.
You are? Oh. Do you think she's cute?
I do. She has a green face, a little sword. Oh, I like her pink boots. Or are they socks?
They're Ugg
Boots
boots.
or socks? Ugg boots.
They're Ugg boots. They are kind of Ugg boots. You're right.
I love my doobies.
All right.
I made
So
I made the inside of my head.
and I added some eyelashes.
Oh yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe she needs some like little eye shines. And I have these little star glitters.
Oh yes.
If it works, I'll take a look see.
That
All
eyeshadow
right.
is very Rob Batman.
That's a good point. Laura, you painted the inside of yours pink?
Paint it red.
Oh,
Here's the open
red.
skull.
Gross. I love it.
I actually used my orc blood for the inside of mine.
Work blood.
You might as
Again,
well
I don't have
use it
goblin blood.
anywhere.
so specific. No, it was Orc Scar, wasn't it?
I thought I had orc scar. I must not have bought that
You're
one.
all out of Orc Scar.
The worst lipstick application I've ever done in my life.
It's harder to do on other people.
Yeah.
I've done it on other people too. How's that look?
What don't you like about it?
Well, I mean, it doesn't look like full lips. It looks like just like the inside of his mouth, honestly.
I think that's just his lips.
Yeah.
Maybe goblins don't really have lips. Maybe they're like dogs. They just
He needs like goblin Botox.
Oh, now my goblin looks like anime because he's got little star eyes.
Oh
Nice.
my gosh, that's awesome.
I think mine's pretty done.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking the same
Yeah.
for mine.
I think
I'm just-
I'm good
Yours
for my
done?
goblin.
Hours to go before
Oh,
I.
that looks awesome.
Just doing a wash on the base. I'm gonna retouch the inside of his skull.
I love it,
but
Laura. Rob, I have to agree with you about the yellow. I wasn't down with it at first, and it looks great. The yellow.
What makes it really work is to go over it with the flesh wash, the ink wash, because it adds a bit of like brown and dirtiness to it. That just yeah. When I first started painting the goblins in this yellow, I'm like, what are they talking about? This is totally not right. And then I put it with the wash over. I was like, oh, I see it now.
Like,
I mean, it looks like the skin of of hobgoblins in D&D.
Yep. Although in 5th edition, I don't remember from other editions, but in 5th edition, if you look up the pictures of goblins, they do have yellow skin.
Oh yeah.
I love the complementary of like the yellow and the purple inside his head.
I agree.
Yep.
The art teacher approves.
Sweet. First time any art teachers ever approved of a project. Back in college, I turned in an art project and my teacher said, "What, you spend 10 minutes on this?" I'm like, "No, I spent 5 hours. Thanks." I dropped that class.
Yeah. Good thinking.
I'm going over the inside of the skull again. Just gonna go with the same skin tone green.
Nice.
Acrylic paints as they dry so quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta make a wet palette.
Yep. So, oh yeah. So the wet palette that I don't remember who taught me this, but all it is just a quick little Ziploc Tupperware container. Line the bottom with paper towel, and then get parchment paper, not wax paper, because wax paper will block all the moisture. And just do a little square of parchment paper and press it down in there, and just put a little bit of water in there until the paper towel is damp, and it keeps the paints much longer. I used to just use these plastic palettes, and I wasted so much paint to it just drying on the palette.
That's a great tip. I didn't know that.
Now I can actually close this up, and I'll come back. I can come back to these paints
I love it,
tomorrow
Sarah.
or 2 days. Oh
I
my
love
God,
it.
the star pupils.
I can't wait to
Oh,
see
that's
the hair.
She needs her hair. I'm gonna put the hair on. All right, I'm gonna turn the thing down. Put my girl at the viewpoint.
What's her name?
Gobelina, obviously.
Gobelina.
That's my name for every female goblin is Gobelina.
It's always Gobelina.
And then every male goblin is Gobelino.
Well, clearly.
So I had to come up with an entire family of goblin names because one of my characters was playing a goblin, and he invited his family to come work on the airship with them. I'm like, awesome. So I named them all like normal goblin names, except then I had to have one that was named Karen with a C. They went on to the next campaign that we're running that my friend is DMing, and all of the other goblins sadly have not survived, but Karen's still around.
Is she awful? Is she like the quintessential Karen? Or?
Yeah, pretty much. Always demanding to see managers.
Sarah, what do you name a gender neutral goblin?
Gobeline.
Oh, I like that.
I like how that was just like a quick
I know,
answer,
me too.
no
I was
thought.
thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing.
I have this problem in my kids game is I didn't expect the kids to join in, and then I'm like, oh no, I gave him this in the last campaign because I thought this was going to be like, one time thing, and I'm like, oh no, he has so many friends now, he has so many minions, oh no.
Yeah, they really like pets, don't they? They love pets.
But they do.
I play with a group of 35-year-olds and they still want to collect pets. We had a family
I'm
of owl
guilty of
bears
that too,
following
yeah.
our group around.
They all asked for an owlbear. They're like, I would like an owlbear pup, but I would like its mom to have died, so that way I'm not taking it from its mom. I just, just happened.
Rescuing.
My party took care of that by killing the mom.
Properly rescuing the.
Yeah, my party did that too.
You gotta take care of yourself.
I ran a feudal Japan styled Pokemon 5th edition game.
Yes, that game was so good. Let's play it again now that the toxic people are not around.
Ooh, wait, what?
Just to satisfy the need of every player to have a pet. So it was set in the past in Kanto, the first region of the original Pokemon games. And I reskinned everything for feudal Japan, and the gym leaders were instead daimyos of these independent city-state spread throughout. But I basically just I built a campaign around pet collecting.
That's awesome.
It worked very well, with the exception of a few
Toxic players.
unfortunate player additions.
Do y'all want to get into some tea? Because I would love to hear this.
Oh, it was just there were too many of us, and then people kept causing trouble. That's all the tea I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Did everybody wanted to play? I'm sorry, I can't have my boobs in the shot too much. It's too awkward.
All right, now for the fun of turning these little tiny dots into studded leather.
We have a very funny joke in my old D&D group. I was like, at what point does this game stop being a D&D game and start being a cult? Because we've started we now have t-shirts, We had like jerseys that had our D&D characters' names on them. We had dolls. We had like a book. We would like meet every week. We would talk in our characters, and he's like, at what point do we stop being?
See, Sarah just created a cult in her game.
Yeah, I thought you meant that you were a cult in the game.
No, we're cult in real life.
And lizard.
The great
Okay, I sent a picture in the group message with my goblin.
Yeah.
Cool.
I gotta take a picture of my goblin.
God.
Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Gotta do the hair.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna head out now that my goblin is complete.
Complete.
Yes.
Cool.
I was watching. Oh God.
I
Here, let me turn off my.
was gonna say they think it's a green screen.
Yeah, that happened in your interview, right, Rob? Trying to show your gelatinous cube.
Yeah, when I was trying to show the gelatinous cube, it kept disappearing into my green screen.
So
Okay.
cute with the hair.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I love it.
turned out really good.
She looks like a magical girl.
She is. She's a magical gob.
I love it.
I'm gonna let that fully dry. Decide and take care of this. This needs to be store food later, so I gotta figure that out.
My next suggestion would be to get alternate supplies to your food supplies.
Depends on how many of them you're gonna do. I mean, if it's like,
Like
Mastermind
this
party.
mug is no longer safe for anything except for this.
yeah, sacrificed to the minis gods.
So I
Cool,
just
y'all
tossed
have a
a
good rest of your night.
Thank you,
Night,
Arthur.
Arthur. Thanks for joining us.
Mario.
So I just put a picture of my
This is my stopping
my gobbo.
point.
Oh, that looks great, Dan.
I've got to do more work. I didn't bring enough supplies down to my office here. I'm willing to brave the main house with my children in it to get more. So
I like how you did the squinty eye with the scar and the no
Yeah,
pupil. That's
yeah,
really
yeah.
clever.
yeah.
For sure.
So
Rob,
I'll
yours turned out great too.
Did you give him a
keep
goatee?
working. He does have a goatee because again, he's got the really bulbous chin, and I decided to make that facial hair.
Love
Repurposing
it.
the sculpt.
I love that they're also like different. They all have their own little personalities.
But when I will be sure to post a picture when I finish him. Rob, thank you so much for the miniature and for kind of
Yeah, thank Kristen.
for this. And Kristen, thank you.
My pleasure. I hope we can do lots more of this. I thought it would just be kind of fun, with work, and plow. So it's fun to just kind of relax and do something fun together. I hope those of you watching had a great time. Laura's showing hers off. I'm gonna just
My guy is done.
stay on if you want to. I'm gonna just end our live stream. So thanks if you tuned in. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed watching. And I don't even know when I think we're live next on Monday with
Fruits.
and Rob will be live on Wednesday with Cold Case Files. So
Saturday for the Pompeii.
oh, it's this
Oh yeah, the
Saturday.
Pompeii game. Yeah, it's this
Oh
Saturday.
my gosh, this Saturday. I didn't realize. Wow, that came up so fast.
Are we streaming?
And on Saturday, yeah, we'll stream that as well. So we're doing a live stream of a play test of a game that Sarah created on
No
Saturday.
pressure, Dan.
At 7. Is it at 7, guys? Eastern?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
7
so, yeah.
o'clock Eastern. So if you enjoy watching us do stuff, tune in again. We'd love to have you back. Thanks, y'all.